Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Cancer, May 22, 2022. The moon spends the day in the sign behind yours, and you tend to lay low, craving some release from overstimulation. Still, Mercury moves into your solar 9th house for a stay until May 27th, and you're thinking ahead. You're putting recent events and ideas into perspective during this cycle. It's a great time for big ideas that come from thinking in broad terms but not necessarily reliable for their practical implementation that comes at a later date. There can be connections that expand your mind during this cycle. You are a little braver when expressing your opinions and sharing your ideas. You're pleasantly challenged to think more deeply about big life questions and refine your perspective and viewpoints. You learn better through experience than through rote now. It's a positive cycle for sharing your ideas, learning new things, and building your knowledge. Much needed getaway with your lover? This break is long overdue, so don't hesitate to take a step back for the time being. Besides, in addition to the moon entering Aquarius in your sleepy 12th house of rest, closure, and surrender, its celestial ruler, Mercury, will also make its annual debut in Pisces via your 9th house of adventure, expansion, and unknown territory. So, if you're not taking this time to wander off with your sweetheart, it's still an excellent time for soul searching nonetheless. Others of you may meet someone who piques your interest in the meantime. Where could your hope take you in your professional journey? Mercury exits Aquarius and enters Pisces today, which now trines your sign. The fluid trine allows you to intuitively follow your imagination and hope, creating an idealistic approach to your professional development. You will begin to dream of educational opportunities to advance and even possibilities to travel for your career. The only potential setback to this could be Mercury's inability to commit to a plan of action. Your wandering mind could be unable to decide, so use your leadership abilities to move forward with your curiosities. Over 2 months after first returning for what is normally a 14 to 15-day visit to your financial sector, Mercury finally leaves today, but not before leaving you with a smart head for money and more tools in your toolbox than you had at the start of the year. With Venus and Mars still in their early days here and still aligned, Mercury leaves you with the smart head for money and confidence needed to take your financial power back. Your optimistic and positive charisma are magnetic. A friend or family member may need your help fairly soon, so don't hesitate to offer them assistance, since you have the necessary resources. It will definitely make you feel good to help others, knowing that they will remember you for it. An old situation that you thought was at rest may flare up between you and a family member or an old, dear friend. Try your best to find common ground or things might get harder. Full of positive energy, it seems your efforts have paid off. Be sure you don't get too carried away, just because others find it difficult to refuse you. Try to remain modest. In spite of the attention and flattery you receive, other people also like to have some attention paid to them. Give recognition where it's due. Once you have set your own health goals, you will inevitably compare your health habits to other people's. This is natural in the beginning and can be either encouraging or discouraging. The goal is really to focus on yourself and refrain from comparison or judgment. Just take yourself and your goals seriously. If it helps, write down your intentions for the day and check them off at night. Reward yourself for healthy behavior, perhaps with a nice bubble bath. This is the day to get caught up. The essence of this day vibration will encourage you to finish up those tasks that have been in process. Not only will this be evident on the job scene, your home can also pose several chores to keep you busy. Feeling productive is something that suits you very well, and this is definitely the day to make this happen. Just be sure that you leave enough time to wind down and relax when all is said and done. The sun's first full day in a nostalgic and reflective part of your chart and of the month-long wind down of this current solar year was always going to bring a call to pull back. Even more so with Mercury not only in his last full day here but in retrograde motion is creating a lot of nostalgia. While the sun is here for another month, Mercury will be gone by tomorrow, and next week is set to be even busier, and especially professionally. Even Mars, in his last weekend in an adventurous part of your chart, is urging you to embrace the weekend spirit. Thanks to the moon's departure from your relationship sector yesterday and an eclipsing full moon that this time last week was just starting to build, you are more emotionally engaged and aware. The forces behind a romantically charged lunar eclipse are still there, and so too are those on the relationship front, leaving you with something to remain connected to. Our eyes in the sky. Mercury's splash into Pisces, which happens today, can boost imagination as well as paranoia. The information we hear and relate may not be completely legit, because Pisces, which is known to add emotion and personal sentiments to information, is now affecting Mercury. This transit can bring deep emotions to the surface, so this is a moment when we might want to check in with others who are struggling. Calming our thoughts and emotions is key, because not doing this can lead to anxiety. Dreams have the power to become reality now. As long as you keep the focus on the task at hand, you'll be able to bring your vision to life. Focus on manifesting what you truly desire. Doing this will allow you to achieve greatness, power, and strength within yourself. You can use this energy to manifest career aspirations and abundance. Your professional goals are changing and deepening. All the more reason for you to make transformative efforts to take your business to the next level. Now is not the time to hold back, rather, it's a moment to incorporate your hopes, wants, and wishes into something that can be life-changing and sustainable. In the morning, the moon sextiles Chiron in Aries, facilitating healing through conversation and speech. The Aquarius moon urges us to open a dialogue with our subconscious mind and be willing to communicate anxieties verbally. By tying language to experience, we create a new vector for self-expression, helping us to move through pent-up grief. A chat with an old friend or a new acquaintance can put our insecurities into perspective. Once we have purged repressed feelings surrounding old traumas, we seize the day with improved confidence. In the late afternoon, Mercury enters numinous Pisces, stimulating our psychic senses. We are more easily able to pick up on nonverbal signals, vocal tone, and body language. Reading in between the lines has its perks, but while our imagination is at the helm, we risk certain lapses in judgment. Mercury is in its fall in Pisces. Details may be confused as our emotions and intuition butt into our rational thought processes. Mundane appointments, scheduled dates, and errands can be forgotten. It's a bit like a mini Mercury retrograde. On the bright side, this transit helps us to communicate mystical or spiritual concepts and aids creative inspiration. It is an especially auspicious time for artists and performers to dream up new projects.